This is an instructional video on how to complete the W-4. So the first section of the W-4 is your personal allowances worksheet. It's probably worth reading this information up here that tells you how to file. Okay, so the first one is line A, enter 1 for yourself if no one can claim you as a dependent. So you would enter 1 for yourself. Number B, or letter B, if any of these 3 items apply, so if you're single and have only 1 job, you would enter 1. Or if you're married and have only 1 job and your spouse does not work, you would enter 1. Number third condition here is your wages from a second job or a spouse's job is less than $1,500. So if any of those apply, you would enter 1. If not, you would enter a 0. Okay, line C, enter 1 for your spouse. And then in line 3, you would enter in the number of dependents. So if you have 3 dependents that you're going to claim on your tax return, then you want to enter in 3. Enter in 1 if you're a head of household. If you have at least $1,900 in dependent care expenses for child care, then you could enter in a 1 there. And then finally, if you are expecting to get the child tax credit, you'll want to read through these 2 situations here. Basically, if you expect your income to be less than $65,000 or less than $95,000, you would enter in the information there. So once you've done that, you're going to add all these items together and write that number in H. So we've got 6 there, and then we want to read this here. So if you expect to itemize or claim adjustments to your income, then you're going to want to go to page 2, which is this Deductions and Adjustments worksheet, and you would complete that information there. If that doesn't apply, then you would ignore that. Another thing you can look at is if you have or if you're single and have more than 1 job, or you're married and both your spouse works, and combined incomes will exceed 40 for being single or 10,000 for being married, then you'll want to go ahead and complete the 2 earners multiple jobs worksheet on page 2, which is this second section here on page 2. Finally, if none of these 2 situations are applicable to you, then all you're going to do is you're going to stop. You're going to take this 6 and move that down here to line 5. You're going to fill out your demographic data here, first name, last name, social address, and then you're going to check the filing status you're claiming. If you want to have additional taxes withheld from your from your checking account, you would just enter that amount. So let's say you wanted to withhold an extra $100, you would just do that there. And then finally on line 7, if you did, you got all your federal income tax withheld, return refunded to you because you had no tax liability, or because you expect to get all your money back in the current year, then you would just write exempt here. Sign and date, and then hand that to your employer, and then you are complete. Now let's say that one of these 2 conditions applied to you, then we would go to to the second page. You would not move this line box H here. Instead, you're going to use the information from the worksheets on page 2. So let's go to page 2 to complete the worksheets. So if you are itemizing, so what you want to do is look at your tax return from last year, and you're going to, if you have a Schedule A, so Schedule A is your itemized deductions. This is where you claim your income taxes, real estate taxes, mortgage interest, and charitable donations. And if you are itemizing those deductions, and you expect your deductions to be similar in the current year as they were last year, you're going to take your amount from line 29 and enter that in to right here. So let's say you had $37,000 in itemized deductions. Then if you're married filing jointly, whatever you have here, you're going to enter in these dollar amounts based on your filing status. So now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract line 2 from 1, so 37,000 minus 12,200 would be 24,800. If you expect that you would have adjustments to your income, then you would enter in that amount there. And then finally, you would go ahead and add lines 3 and 4 together, and that would give you your amount here. Now this estimate of non-wage income, basically you're going to want to look at your 1040, and that would be interest, dividends. You would also look at if you have a Schedule C business there, and any other items there that would help you figure out how to fill out that amount. But let's say that's not applicable. So then at this point, you're going to subtract that amount from there. And so then we get to 24,800. If we divide 24,800 divided by 3,900, that will give us 6. You're going to go to divide 24 by 800, and then you'll round down. So that's 6, and then line 9, you're going to enter in the number from your personal allowances worksheet, line H from page 1. So that would be this number right here, this 6. You would add that number together, and that would give you 12. And then that number you would put in here.